Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my wonderful 101, 101% hard video walkthrough. I think that's what the difficulty's called anyway. It's been a while since I've looked at this footage. This is Operation 5A. It is Mount Ogretoe, Lost City of Lowrule, which is really confusing. Some of the naming conventions in this game are absolutely baffling, but we'll go with it. This first encounter here, pretty simple stuff. You're going to get attacked by a couple of the standard monsters. I'm going to fall off because I do that in these games. And I recommend using the sword. Wonder Blue is fantastic for these situations. Get a really big sword, swipe them out the air, and then go back to Wonder Red and then start twisting the crank. This is one of those missions that's more tedious to Platinum, or Pure Platinum, than it is to actually play. Because it's just... nobody likes fighting those flying weird dudes. They're just stupid. But I do like this mission because it's in grass, and it makes me remember when I was a kid and I used to play in grass with like my action figures, making up my own narratives and things, and it was always really fun. And that's what this game does. It gives you that like boyish sense of childhood back. And it's such a shame that, you know, the game didn't sell well at all, and it was a shame that when I originally covered this, people weren't watching. And you might wonder why you've not seen it in ages, and it's because I had to lay it dormant because people weren't really paying attention. And I think this game deserves everyone's attention because I think it's amazing. I think it's one of the most unique things I've ever played, and I think it's something that everybody should experience, even if it's not to their tastes, because it's just so wonderfully different in a generation of video games that are so, you know, blasé, bullshit, and predictably generic. But when you set your fist on fire here to do the puzzle, you cannot move quickly, so you'll notice that I'm jumping, and you'll notice I turned into a rocket because I was trying to like bash buttons to move faster. Not really how it works. I don't know why I didn't like the one behind me just then. That seems like an interesting choice. Oh, maybe because you don't have to. Oh, cool. See, I knew what I was doing at the time. But use your mob attack to destroy some of the destructibles. There's your opportunity to get some more recruits if you need them to fill up your army, and we're going to push forward into mission 3 of this particular operation. I think this is going to be those crazy fast cats, or it's going to be those golems. It's a golem. So the golems are actually really strange. Sometimes they can be really easy, other times they're not at all. But the good news is, whenever you use the bomb, there is a feature of this game where the Wonderliner does damage that is multiplied depending on the size of the bomb that you've used. So you can do a lot of really big damage against the golems to get them killed quickly. However, it's not stylish at all. It's just full function. It's a damage tool and nothing else. And if you're playing this for rank, I recommend that you style on them a little bit before you kill them, and then you do that technique, because killing the golems with just standard attacks and just getting fancy and juggling them and things, it does no damage. They've got massive pools of life, which is why it's really useful if you want to get that quick time to get that pure platinum, that you finish them off with the techniques available to you. But this is the hardest difficulty, and battery consumption on this difficulty is insane. It's probably the only part of it I don't like. I don't mind at all the fact it doesn't slow down when you draw. I think it forces you to become a better player. But the battery consumption means that you just can't do anything too interesting. You can't start... Wow. Interesting. I did not think that was going to be that grade. But that's the wonderful 101 all over the place. You think you've got a shitty grade and you get a great grade. You think you've done a great grade and you get a shit one. It's just wonderfully strange like that. But be careful of the lava here. This is one of the opportunities to bring your team close to you so that you get better navigation and pick up a couple of batteries. Hopefully fill that up, because the more batteries you have, the more fun this game is, straight up. If you're wondering what you have to do to them, you have to build them like I did just then. It gives you a collectible that I really don't need and I really don't generally use, because you'll notice I don't use items on this game. You would be surprised at how many items there are. There are so many bloody items, it's ridiculous. I couldn't even tell you what half of them do, because I'm so ingrained in playing these kind of games without using them because they penalise the rank. Which is a detriment to me, but I don't mind. Wow, that's a reset? Interesting. Whoa, I just nearly got reset again. Bloody hell. So yeah, keep out of the lava, folks. It's that first step's a doozy, it appears. Oh, this is awkward as well. I always had trouble walking around the shoulders of that thing, because I think there's a secret on the other side of it, like something to pick up. Ooh, so Godzilla guy who's going to shut his wings and do massive damage, because I'm terrible at avoiding it. But we did the Ukemi, we got our life back, and then hopefully we can use the claws to rip him apart. So this enemy is very weak to being frozen with the ice claws, but just be careful of what he does. Everything he does can be gutsed against or evaded and get the hero time, but the wings, when they fold and they shut like that, there's something about the hitbox on that move, but I just cannot dodge it correctly at all. It hits me almost every time. Also, when he's stunned like that, he's very susceptible to being launched, and if you want to do some of the more fancier, interesting combos, launching is the way to do it. However, on this difficulty, launching and being fancy in the air do nothing but kill batteries, so you want to at least hold back a little bit and focus on doing the stuff that you know works, which is why I'm trying to freeze him with the claws. I'm just trying to hit him with as much of an assault as I can, and I'm going to freeze him with the bomb, get some Wonderliner damage on him, do an uppercut with the fist, turn into the tombstone and finish him off. That looked slow to me. No, the combo was bad, time was fine. But this is a game I would love to run rank on, but the bosses have no checkpoints and they're like 15 to 20 minutes long of grueling bullshit, with moments that aren't even bosses that you're ranked on, and if you fuck up you've got to do entire fights again. It's literally the antithesis of what I enjoy in video games. And then the restart checkpoint feature is horrible. So you'll probably never see me rank run this game, which is a shame, because I think this game is wonderful, get it? And I think it deserves your attention. What the hell am I doing? Oh, I think I was experimenting with the goggles because I accidentally drew them, which is incredibly powerful in certain areas, the goggles, but they're very difficult to steer and aim, I find. Wow, that was strange. Apparently I didn't draw a big enough bomb. Oh, so mission 8. On this section here, if you fuck up anywhere in it, you go back to this point. Once again, checkpoints, guys. This game is rife with poor ones. But use the Wonderliner to make a bridge, climb up onto the palm of this statue, Wonderliner again. You've got to be quite quick here, believe it or not. It's a little stricter than you would expect in this kind of set piece. And then on this you need to turn into the whip, so that you can traverse the void, and then hop over onto this platform. Oh, this game is so fun. It's so wonderfully fun, and campy, and over the top, and it's exactly what you expect it to be if you imagine that it's a cartoon on the back of a cereal box, because it's just great. But turn into the gun here, and then jump and fire, but don't do it too quickly, or you'll do the launch attack, which is what you saw me do initially there. But keep on pushing onwards, back into another lava section. I'm trying to think where this bit goes. It leads up to the crazy totem people. Oh, this is an interesting sequence. So you have to use the hammer to hit the plate. It's going to send those geysers of lava into the sky. You have to do it when the craft is over them to stun it and take out its life. It's not that difficult, but there's a delay, and anything with a delay has to be timed awkwardly, so you just need to be aware of it, and if you do it too soon you'll miss. If you do it too late you'll miss. It's that simple. But move out of the way of the bullets and focus on hitting it. It only takes 3 because of the rule of threes and everything. But there it is. What was that? Pure platinum, shit. Who knew? But there you go. And then from here, it charges its cannons, so quickly do the wonder jump, which I think I've stated that I don't really like some of those wonder moments because they don't give you any clear-cut idea of what it wants you to do until you're doing it. Oh, interesting. Right. So this guy, this guy is hard. This guy is probably the hardest boss in the game because he is you, and he has your abilities only without the batteries. He seems to be able to do all kinds of crazy shit. However, he is limited to numbers just like you, so if you can beat him up and knock his team away, he's going to be weakened and you can focus on getting some good hits. The strategy I've used so far is a pretty simple one, but every phase is going to get more difficult. Oh, I missed my Ukemi, damn. There it was. But the strategy is simple. You want to get his team off him, you want to dodge one of his normal attacks, and then you want to beat him up when he's vulnerable with the biggest thing you can hit him with to do massive damage. If done correctly, you can take 3 to 4 life bars off this guy in one attack. one sequence of attacks. If not, it'll not do anything because he gets these weird iframes, which I hate. But it happens. You've just got to deal with it, folks. But there's me trying to get some quick hits on him. I get the hero mode. Do I capitalise on it? Can I capitalise on it? No, he's invincible. That really frustrates me. It's one of the conceits of the way the game was designed. It's almost as if they didn't expect people to use hero time in those moments. I don't understand it from a balanced perspective. This guy can fuck you up in seconds. You can't fuck him up in seconds unless you get that one frame or those 5 frames where he's vulnerable. Like, really stupid. See what I mean just then? That was perfect. Massive damage. Look at the damage. Massive damage. Wonderful damage. It's not very stylish, but who gives a shit? He's dying. So he's turned into the laser thing. I'm going to try and reflect it with the sword. He did an attack. We dodged it. Can we? Oh, and I lost my team because I touched its bloody plates. That is horrendous. That's the type of stuff that really frustrates me. The good news is we couldn't have hurt him anyway because he was invincible. He was in iframes, which is disgusting, but there it is. But I love this fight. As much as I'm going to say things like it's disgusting and I hate this and I hate that, this fight's wonderful, and when you're doing it, it's so much fun. But the frame rate goes to shit. This is the type of thing that needed next-gen hardware, and unfortunately, the Wii U's just not strong enough. But there's the hammer. There's the guts riposte. I go back into the Wonder Red. He turns into the claws. We need to get out of there or we're in trouble. I get a nice bit of a hero evade. I try and get behind his attacks, but you'll notice they're auto-correcting, so I need to be really careful, and I don't get an opportunity, but I get another dodge. So we go back in. We build the fist. Can we hit him? No, he's invincible. Motherfucker, what's the point? Get out of there, Chris. Get out. I'm stubborn, though, so I'll still try. Ooh, he dropped a bomb, too. And we somehow managed to get an evade off the dome. That's strange. But you need to get your team back on this game. If you don't have your team, you're going to be in trouble. That was a really nice dodge. That's not easy to do that. Ooh, and he's not invincible. Look at the damage. Oh my goodness, did you see that? Oh, it looks so good to see it come stripping off like wallpaper. And the music's great here too. So he's turned into the whip. Because the whip is barbed. Oh, there's an uppercut. Can't do anything with it. I wonder if there's a situation where you can really style on this guy. Because I have launched him once, but I didn't really get a chance to do anything too fancy. It would be really nice if you could. The whip is really good here, by the way. There was some hero time. Can we get him? Can we get him? And he's picking up some team. I think I'm focusing on just getting my team back together. It's that whip. The whip has got really good range. Oh, look at the stinger with the whip. There's the crazy dinosaur thing. It's going to do its dash. Can we dodge him? Can we dodge him? There's the dodge. There it was. Hit him, hit him. Turned into the crazy ball. Hit him. There it is. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, it's so good. Look at that damage. Oh, it's so good. Was that as good for you as it was for me? But this is not an easy fight, folks. By no means. He is definitely the toughest part of the game. Except for getting used to playing it. That's really hard too. So there's a bunch of black screens here, guys, and you might be wondering why I'm not taking them out. It's because a lot of these cutscenes have the QuickTime events in them that you have to do. And they're by no means difficult, but you'd be surprised at some of the things that get said in YouTube comments where people have actually complained about stuff like this. So from a very early point of me making videos, I've tried to keep in as much of the game as I possibly can. Of course, if I can get rid of things that aren't necessary, I do my best to do that, but every so often you've got to put things in that you necessarily wouldn't in other situations. That was weird. So, I hate the weird glider thing. I've never liked it. I've never fully understood it. It's 100% my ignorance, but I never thought it controlled well. I never thought the sections where you used it were particularly fun, and most of them look like what's happening right now, where I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? I cannot do this. It's just beyond my understanding of this mechanic, and like, that's one of those moments where I'll probably never pure platinum that because I just can't figure out how to make this thing move in anything that feels intuitive or fun. And as much as I will devoutly defend this game, there are areas of it like that where I'm like, it's not worth defending. That was weird. I don't know what I was trying to draw then, but I didn't get it. I think I was trying to draw goggles, because goggles are really good on this sequence. That being said, I just do I go with the drill. I try to be as quick as I possibly can. And the thing that bugs me about this sequence is you're being chased by the lava, and it's rushing you. And I think that this would be so much more fun if you could take your time, because I think this is a really cool mechanic and a really interesting change of gameplay. However, as soon as they put a time limit on it, instead of taking your time and having fun, you just, you've got to stick up your ass and you want to get it over with, and I never think that that translates to anything that's enjoyable. It's adrenaline-y, it's definitely, gets you on the edge of your seat, but it's not fun. And it's all ranked, so if you're going for those platinums, good luck with these moments, because you're going to have to practice them a lot, because you really don't spend much of the game doing it. And it's a shame too, because look at it, I think it looks really, it's like some kind of Pseudo Bomberman section. Really fun. And I recommend pressing 2 of the buttons at the same time here. The button to drill and the button to attack with your hero arms. That way you can do 2 attacks at the same time and you can do extra damage and get a better progress. Like, I'm pretty much pressing all the face buttons at this point. The dodge, the dash, the drill and the attack. And it's probably what everybody does, because I think it's the best way to circumnavigate all this. But weird enemies, like weird glowing things in the rock, and like enemies you've seen before, just protecting pieces of random bullshit that you pick up throughout the game. Lava blocks that are falling on you like we're playing Mr. Driller. All kinds of weird shit happening. Really interesting. And exciting too. I mean, it's fun to look at. I just wish it was fun to play. And that random puzzle solving. There's more stuff happening in this game at this point than there is in the entirety of like an Assassin's Creed or a fucking Call of Duty or insert game that really shouldn't be as popular as it is, but we get a sequel every year regardless of if we want one. Like, this is just daft, it's silly, it's all over the place, in a good way. And that's coming from somebody that doesn't like these parts. But here is the boss from earlier on as an enemy. When he telegraphs with the roar, it means he's going to flip, so just move out of his way and then get back into attacking distance. I'm using the hammer here. It's probably not the best choice because it's missing a lot, but it does really good damage, and I'm kind of a DPS kind of guy. That being said, I hear the goggles here do big damage. I experimented a little bit early with them, but I didn't keep them on, which might have been to my detriment. But a couple of the hits as well. He might get iframes, or at the moment after he takes damage, to stop you from doing too much damage too quickly, but I think the hammer deals with him okay. Then swap to the claws, and then open this bad boy. And then there's a little bit more of the... I don't know what that's meant to be. I've kind of always looked at it as kind of like diamond or something, even though... Are diamonds coloured? I thought they were colourless in the raw form. Maybe they're pink, I don't know. But onwards into a fight against the giant crab thing, which I never feel like I'm fighting correctly, and then I get a pure platinum at the end, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? But, so, you want to do enough damage to stun this guy to make him fall, or to prop his legs up so that you can cut his legs off and then make him fall. But I still don't know the best way of doing it, because he just seems to tank everything, and unfortunately, because this game is on the Wii U, which is a system that nobody bought, and because it's, such a different thing from a lot of stuff, there's not really that much of a community of players doing all the research and doing all the legwork for the systems of this game, and I haven't really searched recently, so maybe that's changed. Maybe there's a bunch of people that have gone in there and figured everything out, and there's a super, hardcore following, which I wish there was, because it deserves it, but I just don't think there is. So there's so much that, hasn't been discovered, or so much that people just don't really know yet, and a lot of the strategies that you see for the game that I've seen at some of the higher levels of play have all involved using that ability that I don't have, where you turn into a supersized version of yourself and you do stupid damage, which is all good and well, but it'd be nice to really, get deep in there and figure out the nuance, which I've never really been too good at when it comes to these kind of games. I've figured certain things out, I've figured out my own way of doing things, but I've never been the person who notices all the crazy meta stuff or finds all the weird techniques. Like, look at Dark Souls, people figuring out all that crazy shit that's in that game, and stuff that I used and stuff that I played with, but, I rarely found it. It's not the stuff that, I seem to stumble upon. I found glitches, sure, I found, shortcuts that I used and jumps and things, but like, I would have never figured out the reverse roll stuff or any of that, because it's just, I'm not the person who messes about clicking buttons in and pressing buttons at the same time, and, God bless those people wherever they come from. It's definitely a more anally retentive area of the world than me, 'cause it's not the stuff I look for. That being said, distorting the the moves on Devil May Cry 4 was something I stumbled across before I even had the internet. And it was something I did by accident, and I did it on the uppercut, and I noticed that it stretched the character's profile, and then I saw the damage, and it was one of those things, well, Jesus, this is insane. But I love how that kind of stuff happens, and the only real part of this game that I know of that's like that is the Wonderliner trick with the bomb. That's one of the more nuanced damage dealing methods. And then there's the guy, I can never pronounce his name, is it Saur? S-A-U-R? That dude did a bunch of tutorials when the game first came out, because he's a massive Clover/Platinum fan and he likes supporting their games, which is nice and cool because he seems like a decent fellow. And they were really interesting to watch. I watched them before I owned the game. But aside from that, there's really not that much Wonderful 101 on YouTube, and it's a real shame. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.